Hey, what's up? It's Tati. Back with another review of AEW Collision. We're on week 3. So, yeah, I was going to be a little bit more critical this week. We started off with MJF. He comes out, and to my surprise, his opponent is already in there. It's a scrawny looking dude who doesn't even look like he's spent ever 2 minutes of his life in the ring. And I'm just like, oh, we're going to get a squash match. And it actually was just 2 minutes, if that, and it was over. I don't know what the point was, but right after that, another dude comes out to challenge MJF. This dude right here was like damn near 300 pounds. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know who this is, but I'll take it since he's a much bigger dude. And while he's on his way down the ramp, Ethan Page comes out and told the guy, hey, you can go back to the back. I got it from here. Now Ethan Page comes out, and I found it to be really interesting. Now, he's from Hamilton in Canada, so he's representing for, you know, the home crowd or whatnot. So I'm okay with this. Now, I had said this, like, in one of my first reviews this year, that Ethan Page was going to be huge by the end of 2023. And we're in July, and he's been in nothing but silly storylines. So I was hoping that this would be a really great moment for him. He does have a promo with MJF. MJF gets to the point where he's like, you know what? You can have a match with me. He's tired of hearing him yapping his mouth. Now, the match was decent. I really, really wish we had something similar to what we got with MJF and Adam Cole. I do think Ethan Page is talented enough to do something like that. But unfortunately, it doesn't go that way. But I will say this, though. I do think that this moment was a really great moment for Ethan Page with his promo and also with his work in the ring. Although it wasn't, you know, anything spectacular, I really hope that this will start to change people's views on Ethan Page. He's been stuck into weird stories, and I'm really hoping that from here we got to see more of a baby face from him. And he's a really great wrestler. Unfortunately, he just got lost in this whole big roster. Now, match was great, was decent, but unfortunately, you guys already know MJF is not going to drop that title anytime soon. So MJF does end up picking up the win, but it was a great effort for Ethan Page. I'm really hoping they're going to keep going in this direction, not just because they're in Canada and they're trying to represent for the homeboy. We just need to see some really great stuff from him because he's a wasted talent at this point. So next we had Dustin Rhodes versus Powerhouse Hobbs, and this is for the Owen Hart Cup quarterfinals. Oh my gosh. So Dustin is like the perfect worker. He's at a point of his career where he's all about helping the younger talent, and he always usually gives a good show, even when he's not, you know, taking the win. And I really appreciate that with him. He also has a wrestling school in Texas, so he's all about the next generation, and I really appreciate that about him. And I felt like that showed here in this match, and Powerhouse Hobbs had probably the best match that I've seen him do in a really, really long time. And this match was a slow pace, you know how Dustin is, and I think that worked for Hobbs as well. Hard-hitting guys, they are a little bit more calculating in the ring, so if you're expecting something fast-paced, you're not going to get that. Now, towards the second half of the match, things did pick up in terms of the pace, and the crowd was really getting behind that, so I was cool with that. We got really good stuff between these two guys, and I really felt like this was a really good showing for Powerhouse Hobbs. With that being said, I do not believe he needs QT at all. I really don't. And I think this match proved it. Up until the very end, I'll get to that in a second. Watching this match, I was really impressed with Hobbs, and I was just like, okay, QT, he's ringside, but please don't get involved because he's doing good all on his own. And I know he's a heel with QT, but I didn't feel like any interference was needed here at all. The thing is that with Hobbs, they have not been booking him right. Ever since he had left that whole Taz group or whatever. And this was an opportunity for them to, yeah, he's still a heel, but he can still do bad all on his own. And they dropped the ball on that. After an amazing match, right at the end, before Powerhouse Hobbs hits a spine buster for the win, QT punches Dustin in the face. He wasn't KO'd, but he just was out of it for a second, and that's all Hobbs needed for him to take the win. Why did we need that? Why couldn't Hobbs, who was doing everything well all on his own already up until that point, just win clean? Why not? If after the match they wanted to beat up Dustin or something like that so they can still have that heel image, that's cool. But during the match, you ruined a perfect match just so he can advance. That this looks like y'all at this point don't have all that much faith in Hobbs. I don't like it. Hobbs don't need this. It just made me really frustrated. I wasn't feeling it at all. I don't know. Let me just move on before I go into a rant about it. Next, we had Miro versus Anthony Henry. Every time I talk about Anthony Henry, I tell you guys how amazing he is in the ring. And he is so good in the ring. And I say it all the time. He doesn't need to be part of the workhorse, man. He needs to be doing stuff on his own. Now, on the mic, he's going to need some help. But as a solo competitor, he will just be... he could be a top guy. With that being said, him going against Miro, I was hoping it wouldn't be a squash match. And that's exactly what we got. Slightly longer than your average squash match, but I felt like Anthony didn't get a chance to do anything in this match. This was all about making Miro look good. This is Collision. We want to see different stuff. We don't want to see that stupid stuff you guys are doing on Rampage and Dynamite, especially with the squash matches. If this is the road that they're going with, then y'all can expect lower ratings because you're putting stupid stuff like this on the show. How does that make Miro look good? How does that help Anthony Henry look good? I know you guys want to emphasize on Miro's strength and how great he is in the ring, but it does nothing for him when his opponent can barely defend themselves against him. I don't think this is a great way to start with Miro returning back to AEW. I just don't think this was effective at all. Tony, you need help with booking. I hope somebody back there is going to just whisper in your ear one day, bro, you're fucking up. You need to change things. Don't bring this stuff over into Collision, especially since it's been a good vibe so far. I didn't like this at all. So up next, we finally got confirmation about the Guns being part of Bullet Club Gold. All four of them are in the ring and they have their new Bullet Club Gold t-shirts. So I'm glad that we finally got the confirmation on that. Now, they're cutting a promo, talking about, CM Punk and FTR. Here's the thing. I do think that this would work out for the Guns, being part of Bullet Club Gold. I've never felt like they've had an issue on the mic. It's just them being able to find something that sticks and work for them has been an issue. And I finally think that this might be exactly what they need in their careers. So let's see how that goes. Now, while they're over there talking shit about CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks, then we have backstage CM Punk and friends, and Ricky's getting ready for his match with Juice. And one thing that was interesting was Jay White brought up that red bag that CM Punk been walking around with that's supposedly supposed to have the real AEW world title in it. And CM Punk basically is like, if you want what's in this bag, you can go on AEW shop website and get a replica of your own, just like MJF. So I thought that was really interesting that he said that. So it seems like he's shading that things may not be over between him and MJF. So we'll see where they go with that. Either way, we got a match where Juice and Jay are going to be going against FTR next week in an eliminator match. If they win that match, they will get a title shot sometime in the near future. I hate that whole eliminator thing. It's just so weird. Anyway, we had Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson, and this was the second best match of the night. These two have really great chemistry together. Throughout this match, we do have Ricky, who is working on a knee injury, and obviously Juice Robinson notices, so he's making him pay for it throughout this match. Now, the pacing of the match is great. I really do like these two together. However, with Ricky working that knee injury, it just wasn't the best that it could possibly be. If he was more fresh in the ring, it would have been much better. Now, Ricky does end up taking the win here with a roll-up, and I was not happy about that. I'm just like, oh my gosh, why? Now, Bullet Club Gold was banned from ringside, so we got no interruptions. So it was a clean fight between Ricky and Juice. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. After that match, while Ricky has his back turned, Bullet Club Gold has come from the audience and they're ready to attack Ricky. Ricky's in the middle of the ring and he's surrounded by all four members. And that's when CMFTR comes out and saved the day. Now, I am glad that all of these guys are working together in the storyline. And I do think that it's going to be really, really interesting. However, I don't want the show to feel like it's a big focus on just these guys here. There are other people that, Tony Khan said that they was going to bring out, so that they could have time to be on TV and whatnot. So I don't want it to feel like it's just these guys all the time and every episode. So I still want to see some fresh faces. We've been seeing videos from Scorpio Sky. Andrade was there as well. He cut a promo. He wants his mask back from the House of Black. But I just don't want it to feel too much like this is CM Punk and FTR show. I want to see some fresh faces on here. But anyway, this was a really great match. I would like to see them go against each other again in the future. So next we have Christian backstage with Luchasaurus. They are doing an interview. Now Christian says no more open challenges for the TNT title. But then while he keeps talking, he looks like someone is watching him, and it turns out to be Shawn Spears. He wants to speak to the champ, not Christian. And Christian seems to be offended by that. He is holding on to that TNT title like he gave birth to it. And to be honest, I actually love it. Now, I don't know how this is going to help Luchasaurus, but right now, Christian is absolutely hilarious. So I'm okay with that. Now, Shawn, he wants a shot at the title, but Christian is saying no. But Shawn is letting him know, like, hey, man, I ain't talking to the TNT champion. I ain't talking to you. Christian's upset about it. So Shawn's like, you know what? He'll get a chance to get at the title. But he does emphasize that it's going to be against Luchasaurus, not Christian, since he is not the TNT champion. Now, next we have Lady Frost versus Chris Statlander. It was a decent match. There were times where they had great chemistry and some times where they just didn't. And it starts off slow, but after the commercial, things start picking up or whatnot. Doesn't that usually happen after the commercials? Now, by that point, I think it was already apparent that Lady Frost wasn't going to take the win here. And I wish that they had a little bit more chemistry with each other. Statlander retains, but I still feel like it was a little premature to give Statlander the title. I haven't been wowed with her since she's won it. Now, with Jade, she wasn't a great wrestler in my eyes, but she had everything else in the package, so I didn't mind seeing her at all. But with Statlander, she doesn't really have much personality in the ring. I see her have more personality on social media, but that does not translate to in the ring or in promos or anything. She really needs to up her game up to show us why she should be TBS champion. It's just been pretty mid with her since she's won the title. Alright, y'all, main event we had for the Owen Hart quarterfinals, it was Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe, and we have CM Punk on commentary. And I don't know why, but this flew right over my head. But up until they said CM Punk would be on commentary, I just kept thinking, oh, Roderick should win this. This would be really cool if he beat Samoa Joe. But then I remembered, holy crap, CM Punk had won his match. So if Samoa Joe wins, then we'll be able to see CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, which everybody wants to see. And for whatever reason, that flew right over my head. So then I was like, you know what? Roderick probably not going to win this. But this actually turned out to be the best match that Roderick has had since he's been in AEW. I think that was his 4th match. So this was a really great way to see how well Roderick can do, especially with someone like Samoa Joe, who's absolutely killing it. Every time he gets in the ring, every time you hear him on the mic, he is absolutely golden. Now, I really enjoyed this match. Definitely match of the night. Wow. First of all, it was like a David versus Goliath type of thing. Roderick Strong, he's strong, but Samoa Joe is bigger and he's strong too. And a lot of times he tries to take Samoa Joe down and it's just not working. By the time it's towards the end of the match, we do have Roderick Strong that ends up lifting up Samoa Joe and does an angle slam. And I am just like, oh, snap. Like, you're really strong to be able to just pick up Samoa Joe damn near flawlessly and end up, you know, hitting that Olympic slam. So it was pretty cool to see. This was a really great showing for Roderick Strong. It's unfortunate because of the storyline with Samoa Joe and CM Punk that Roderick doesn't get a chance to advance in this. I wouldn't have mind seeing him against Ricky Starks or Powerhouse Hobbs going towards the finals in this. But either way, though, we got a really great match out of these guys. Now, Samoa Joe ends up hitting a submission onto Roderick. And Roderick ends up fading to the point that the ref just rings the bell and Samoa Joe takes the win. So he doesn't tap or anything. So that's good. Maybe we might see them in the ring again soon. After that match, Samoa Joe grabs a chair and he's walking towards CM Punk. Then all of a sudden, all the security and referees came from the back to make sure nothing happened between these two. Then CM Punk is like, hey, you got a chair? I can get a chair too. And he gets a chair. And they are ready to get at it, but there's just too many people in between them, so they will never get a chance to touch each other. So Joe gets into the ring, and he ends up slamming Roderick onto the chair, and so Roderick hits his head. So now we have medical attention coming into the ring to help Roderick. They put him in a stretcher. Adam Cole, baby, comes out to make sure his bestie's okay. And CM Punk was in the ring making sure everything's okay as well. As they're taking Roderick to the back, we're getting a CM Punk chant. Okay, whatever. This was a really great episode. Like I said, my complaints with Hobbs having QT to help him win and Miro having that squash match, I really didn't like. You know, MJF has a squash match too, but they make up for it by giving us a proper, decent match with him and Ethan Page. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. This is episode 3. I think they're in the right direction, but I just don't want it to end up feeling like, Rampage or Dynamite. I want the show to stand out on its own, and I want this show to be successful, and AEW will open their eyes to making their other shows just as great as well. Really great episode. Definitely check out the main event. Roderick was really great here. Samoa Joe, always great in everything that he does. Now we're going to get CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. This is going to be interesting. On Wednesday, we're also going to get Wheeler Yuta versus Kenny Omega. That's going to be interesting to see how they do. Wheeler Yuta has come a long way since when he was in the Best Friends, and then now he's in BCC. He's absolutely amazing in the ring as well. So I can't wait to see how that goes. I'm pretty sure Kenny's going to take the win, but we're going to get a really great match out of these two. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back with Dynamite. There will not be any new episodes of Dark Side of the Ring this week. So, see you Wednesday. Bye.